we go.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah.
Hey. Look at us. We are in Bez Arts Hub because we can be right now. Obviously with no audience, but with this whole crowd, Ezra Kwizera and band, which is really great to have you all with us.
It's wonderful. We're so thrilled. We're like, we can do this now? Is this okay? Well, we have our little pod, and they have their pod, and we're allowed to join pods.
Yeah.
So we joined a pod, and we're in Bez Arts Hub. We're doing this right now.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, we're really glad to have you. It's about time. It was last summer that we last did something with you, and we had an amazing event with 2 summers ago already.
I think so. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Out in the parking.
Actually, 2 summers
You know,
ago.
enjoying food and things out in the parking lot, and then Ezra inside.
Yeah.
How have you been?
You know, kicking,
Kicking? Yeah.
surviving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You haven't. The COVID isolation didn't do you in. You did okay.
The first 2 months were a bit hard, I would say, because as a musician, it's like my world was shut down.
Yeah.
You know, you know, I felt like a baby. I was like, okay, now what do I do when I wake up?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I was used to having gigs 3 nights a week
Yeah.
to nothing.
Yeah.
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 So I had to really freestyle and figure out how do I survive.
Yeah. So what did you do?
I know I had to start learning how to cook different meals.
That's what we do. That's all we're
what we
doing.
do. Yeah.
And I had to teach my kids how to cook. I was like,
Okay.
okay, now this is the time to teach how to cook, because for me it felt like the first 2-3 weeks it felt like it was a war.
Yeah.
Because in my, I've been like I'm a war survivor. Like I went through 3 civil wars. So for me, not seeing anybody outside, it was so scary.
Right.
It was being in a war, but there's no bullets.
Right.
Yeah,
Wow.
there's little viruses
Yeah.
crawling up your
Yeah.
And like my son, my last born Levi, he's 8, and that was like the war of Idi Amin.
Right.
So for me, it was I stayed in the house and I would look outside and I would see him running, and I was like, oh. Then I started getting images when I was 8.
Oh my.
Yes. So to me, it was kind of a trauma
Yeah.
in the beginning, but then I had to figure out how to get out of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was wondering about that because someone had mentioned to us very early on when COVID hit that we needed to treat it like a war.
Yeah.
Because our systems needed to make sense of not being able to do anything, and that there was a trauma. But so interesting.
And there was a lot of information. There was a lot of information, like people saying it's not real, some not saying it's real.
Right.
So like some doctors saying it's not real, and then I'm like, okay, so what do I believe?
Right. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And then re-experiencing that through the eyes of your children, probably, which, like you say, no bullets, but you know, did it affect them not being able to?
Yeah, for them,
things?
it kind of affected them for at least 2 weeks. But then, you know, children, they know they're children.
Yeah.
They're like,
And they go,
outside play.
party time. We get to play.
Me, I just stayed inside the house. I was like, I'm not getting out.
Yeah.
Because in the beginning, it's like, you know, even being black, it's like you forget about even the COVID, because people will see you and then they will walk away. So it will be like, I'm like, oh no, they're walking away because
COVID.
you have this distance.
Oh yes,
of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
So I had to
course.
train my mind. At the 3rd week, I'm like, okay, if you're younger, you're the one going away. I'm not going away. If you're older, I'll go.
But what you're saying is that you had to make sense of the fact that it had nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's like people like.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty huge to readjust it.
Yeah.
And what kinds of emotions were you feeling throughout this time?
I kind of felt. One of the things I felt was like. I was like, I need to go home. You know.
Home as in Rwanda?
As in Rwanda.
Yeah.
You know, because it kind of felt, because you know, everyone was like, oh, you would hear a story about Italy, how it happened, and all the videos.
Right.
So it was kind of like, oh, it's the end.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the end of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to be with my
You know,
family.
yeah, and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not, maybe I'll never see my family again.
Yeah.
So I was scared, but at the same time, I was so happy. I was like, I'd rather be with my boys,
Yeah.
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 you know.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a mixed emotion.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. And probably kind of confusing too.
Yeah, I
'cause
know.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's start you with some songs so that we can get that going, and we'll talk a bit more
Yeah.
in a minute. But
So this song is called Nalelio. It's a song that I wrote, you know, crying out to the Most High. You know, when you're stuck, like in COVID, you know, COVID-19. You know, you just have to have something to cry to. And it's in Lingala.
Lingala.
Yeah, that's in Congo. Naleli, 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 oh, I. Naleli, 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 oh. Umva kulira kwanje, gusenga kwanje, mbabarira unyumve. Umva gusenga kwanje, kurira kwanje, mbabarira unyumve. Ibibazo bimbanye byinshi cyane, ndashobewe ndananiwe. Ibibazo bimbanye byinshi cyane, ndashobewe ndananiwe. Naleli, 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 oh, ah. Naleli, 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 oh, oh, ah. Ibibazo bimbanye byinshi cyane, ndashobewe ndananiwe. Ibibazo bimbanye byinshi cyane, ndashobewe ndananiwe. Nalele, nalele, oh. Naleli, naleli, oh. Mwana Nzambe, naleli, oh. Mwana Nzambe, naleli, oh. Naleli, 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 oh. Naleli, 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 oh. Brian Thiessen. Naleli, 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 oh. Naleli, 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 oh. Naleli, oh. Naleli, oh. Naleli, oh.
I'm just so excited. I'm like, just can't stop smiling. It is so good. It's so good. And Sandy's like, keep your hands down. I'm like, I just. It's so good to hear you again. It's so good to be in a room with musicians.
I know, eh?
yeah, it's been a
Yeah.
long time. Do you find in times like this that you get more creative, or do you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The first 2 weeks, in the first months, it was so hard to write anything.
Yeah. You're probably just going through a lot of
I have
emotional
a
things.
studio in the you know, in my basement, but I was
Yeah.
like, I didn't want to go in the studio. I was kind of mad, angry, you know. I couldn't even write even one line,
Wow.
because the way as an inspiration artist, you know, I have to first get into the situation.
Right.
I have to experience it,
Right.
then write.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can, you know, you can lie to people.
Yeah, you
Right.
fake it.
You're like, oh man, it's so good. You know, like some people they're like, man, I loved it. I'm like, how did you love being home?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So, but eventually you got more creative, did
Yeah.
more things.
Yeah, and actually, one of the biggest good part of it was my writing changed.
Really?
Yeah,
In what way?
my style of writing.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow. Like actual your rating.
my songwriting.
Oh, you're a
okay.
songwriter.
Yeah,
I thought you were learning cursive
No.
letters. I'm doing full block letters, and now I'm doing cursive. Thank you, COVID.
Yeah, and then the other side also, you know, as a father, it's I had no other choice but to be with my boys.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of got sick of them. You have no other choice.
Yeah.
You have to find a way how
Figure
to
it out.
Yeah, yeah.
relate. You know, be there. And there's a lot of stuff I learned about them that I didn't know. So there's a lot of blessings with COVID-19.
Wow. And do you get creative with them, or do you kind of separate with them?
Yeah, with
Okay.
them. Like we've been jamming. We would do jamming. In the beginning, we did a lot of jamming. And then 2 months, I was like, okay, God, do your thing. I'm done.
It is exhausting, though. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. And how about what's been going on with regard to all the civil rights protests and social concern issues, all those kinds of things? How has that impacted you? How have you felt in the midst of all of that?
I mean, with me, I've been in Canada for almost 11 years.
And we like to
I-
take credit for
yeah.
that.
It's our fault, I think. No, maybe.
It's your fault.
Because we took a team to Rwanda and met you,
Yeah,
and that became your connection with Canada.
Yeah, but Canada has been a blessing, you know,
Good.
and it's been a challenge. But I think sometimes to learn or to grow, you need to get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff that I've learned as a person, you know, and there's no way I would learn them if I didn't move here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm grateful. But about what's been happening is that I've been experiencing that since I was young.
Yeah.
You know, they know how they say there's race among the race. There's racism among the race.
Right.
So,
Because
like,
you come from
like,
a country where
like
there was
Rwanda,
racism between
yeah.
black.
Yeah, so black
People,
and black.
yeah.
So when I moved here, you know, I see it all the time.
Yeah.
Like ever since, you know, even myself, I actually asked my wife, I was like, so when was the last time the police stopped you? And she was like, 25 years ago. And I'm like, oh, they stopped me at least twice a month.
Yeah.
Wow.
You changed the lane,
Yeah.
you did this,
Yeah.
and they stopped me.
Oh,
Wow.
my.
And then I was like, oh, and I thought it was normal.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, even in Vancouver, it's there. It's like, you know, it's kind of hidden. But
Yeah. Yeah.
with me, I thought it was normal. Then, but as a community leader in my community, a lot of people they've had that.
Yeah,
That is
same experience.
a common
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you know, I think for us here in Canada, we think of ourselves as way less racist
Yeah.
than many other countries
Yeah.
or whatever. But you know, you realize it's
Yeah.
just there that
Yeah.
we have inclinations and separate ourselves from one another in various ways.
Yeah.
And
you know, when I moved to Canada, there's one line they told me, and I respected it. But now I'm kind of like, okay, I should delete that line out of my head. It's they say, if you have nothing good to say,
Yeah.
don't say it.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So with me, I'll be like, oh, I can't say that because it's not good. I would offend
Yeah,
the Canadians. so,
yeah,
so I'll keep quiet.
right.
You know, because people, you know, so many times people, some of the stuff is like it's out of ignorance.
Yeah, yeah.
Or they'll be say, oh, I like your skin,
Yeah.
and I'm like, there's no way I'll tell Russ, I like your skin.
Yeah, that's right. So
I'm
you
like,
just
it's
did.
weird.
Thank
I'm
you.
like,
You can say that as much as you want about my skin. No.
but it's like, you know,
It's-
stuff
it
like
is weird,
that.
yeah,
You know,
it's weird.
So it's like there's so many even small stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing is I think it's the system.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
to me I have a problem with the system, not the people,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I believe we all the same. Because
Yeah.
I like in my music is all about love, forgiveness, freedom, and then it's because I have this analogy. If they say, okay, if you die, but don't die, okay?
Okay, thank you.
If you die, they'll say, this is Russ's body.
Yeah.
So where's Russ? Russ left. That means when you speak, you're the person who speaks, that's the Russ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is just, a vessel.
Yes,
But
that's right.
most of the time we're attached to the body
Yeah.
And
than
not
the
to-
spirit.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Wow.
That's a good
Yeah,
word.
well, we encourage you to keep speaking, Ezra, because I feel like your experience that you had of wars and genocides and all of that, and actually one of the reasons that you so deeply impacted us was the fact that you came forward at a meeting
Yeah.
to apologize
Yeah.
for your prejudice against the other
Yeah.
black race in
Yeah.
your culture.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was in
And-
Rwanda.
and that was in Rwanda.
2001
Yeah.
when we
Yeah.
were there.
Yeah.
We met you, and I remember you had cool shoes.
Yeah.
I was thinking, oh, this is.
He always does
he
cool
always has
shoes.
always
Yeah.
has cool shoes, and I was
Yeah.
like, who's that guy with the cool shoes?
Yeah.
That's
my-
right.
my first
But you know, I think that I mean, I remember one of the things that the Rwandese kept saying when we were there is that what we have learned as a nation is something that we have to teach other nations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like it is your time to speak right now
Yeah,
because
because-
that's exactly
Because the thing is, like, I mean, it's a lot of people they've talked about it, like hate.
Yeah.
People shouldn't have the hate in them.
Yeah.
Because hate is evil. Like when you think about hate, you think about, let's say, this is my wife. She's a Tutsi. I'm a Hutu. And I'll kill my own kids because of the hate towards the Tutsi.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
You will kill your own kids.
Yeah.
So to me, like people should really wake up and not entertain, hate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, because I've seen it, like 1 million people dying, and there's still a lot of people dying in Africa
Yeah.
because of hate.
Wow.
Can you take a second and introduce your wife? It's not your wife. But who's sitting next to you here?
And this is my baby. This is my brother Etienne Mangala. He's from Kenya.
Yeah.
He's my bass player. And I didn't know that he plays acoustic.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. And then that's Knowledge, my Johnny from Zimbabwe.
From Zimbabwe.
Yeah, the youngest of all. And then that's my brother from a different father.
Something.
Brian Thyssen and my producer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
Well, give us another song. We want to hear more.
Okay.
Want to hear more.
awesome. I'm gonna do this song. This is one of my first songs, and I always say when they ask me to do even 3 songs, I have to do this song.
Okay.
It's called Joy Comes in the Morning Time. If you want to sing along. Okay.
All right.
Sometimes in my life, when I fail, all alone, I get down on my knees, all I hear in my head, people say don't last always, 'cause joy comes in the morning time. Sometimes in my life, when I feel all alone, I get down on my knees, all I hear in my head, Troubles they don't last always, 'cause joy comes in the morning time. Hey! When that's in my life, you show me the light. And remember body days bright. I was brand, you give me sun, I will see what is right. I see my weakness, I see you right. Satan is jealous of the love like this, and it's got temptation I never miss. In your loving arms, God of one piece, and you promise this, and eternal bliss. I see when that's in my love, you show me the light, and remember body days bright. I was brand, you give me sun, I will see what is right. I see my weakness, I see you right. Satan is jealous of the love that is, and it's got temptation I never miss. In your loving arms, God of one piece, and you promise this, and eternal bliss. Sometimes in my life, when I feel all alone, I get down on my knees, all I hear in my head. But stay, don't last always, 'cause joy comes in the morning time. Come on, bro, sing along. Hey, hey, hey. Sometimes in my life, when I feel all alone, I get down on my knees, all I hear in my head. Troubles stay, don't last always in my head.
Oh, they don't always last. I know
Yeah.
another one. A morning time. That's right. Joy comes in the morning time.
When you quelli sema quelli ni when you heli. Oh, Holy Mary, mama mungu usipeli. Usijali, usiwari, usihari. Kama kujali, anakujali moro hola. Ninachosema ni chobola. Tuzabila bila kusita. Mama mungu akupungusia machungu, machafu na mabayo na yofanya weka kando. Mungu atakusave yo. Usikonde, usijali, mola nini moja. Pia naye weza kukutoa kwa mawazo, matatizo, matatizo. Joy comes in the morning time. What do you say? Joy comes in the morning time. Don't you worry. Joy comes in the morning time. Everybody sing. Joy comes in the morning time. Knowledge, I can hear you. Joy comes in the morning time. Joy comes in the morning time. One more time, say. Joy comes in the morning time. Joy comes in the morning time. In the morning time.
Wow. Looks like there's some people making comments there on the web. If you're on YouTube or Facebook or Twitch, we can see your
Yeah.
comments. Apparently, it's on Twitch too. I don't know how this works. There's things that we can see your comments. So there's folks making comments saying nice, wonderful, awesome, hello, and everything like that. It's so fun. So
thank
make sure
you.
you comment if you're out there in the TV land. Put a comment on the page on Facebook or YouTube, and we can see it. And let us know where you're watching from. That'd be fun.
Yeah. I mentioned this to you earlier. It was a great question that I heard tonight.
Yeah.
Where does it feel safe to be you?
Man, for the last 20 years, my safest place is the stage.
The stage.
Yeah.
And why is that for you?
Because everyone has no other choice but to listen to me.
That's good.
Yeah, it's like, I'm like, that's where I believe myself.
Yeah.
You know, you can have a conversation with people,
Right.
and sometimes they can be smarter than you. So it's like,
Yeah.
you would say something like, oh. But when I do my own stuff, my own songs, I'm like, no one can sing better than my song, more than me.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
You
Right
know,
on.
you can
Yeah.
cover them, you can have a better voice, but I'm like, oh, I'm the original. So it's that's where I feel like I'm confident, I'm not scared, you know.
And nobody will talk back to you.
Yeah.
Or tell
of
you-
course, they don't have a mic.
Right.
I am the one with the mic.
That's the way to do it. Yeah. We should all end up on
Yeah.
the stage.
That's why even when I always tell people, even when I'm going through dark moments,
Yeah.
when I get to the stage, I leave my worries off.
Yeah.
Because
Wow.
that's my freedom, that's my space. And I always think of, I have this another knowledge as an artist. When when I sing, I have to sow a seed, and then when people eat it and they love it, and then I eat from it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
So I have to really I have to really cleanse myself. I have to forget about the fight I had. I have to forget about my problems, because it's like that's how I get fed.
Wow.
But to get fed, you need to be cleansed. You need to be pure. So when I feed, it will take at least 5 minutes or 10 minutes. But, Canadians, they don't dance.
No.
So you see them doing this. And then all of a sudden, I need that.
Yeah. Wow. And that's been something for you. I mean, we've had a lot of conversations, you and I, about the challenges that it's been adjusting as an African to the Canadian culture. I mean, you guys must all feel this in some way. And is that what it is too? Is that suddenly when you're on a stage, you get to be everything that you are without having to explain yourself?
Yeah, that's why I don't know if most of the time, even through my songs, I have to close my eyes. Because when I open my eyes, something would turn me off. Something would distract me. It's so easy for me to get distracted.
Yeah, like somebody would look at you a certain way, or something that would happen in the audience. Is that what you mean?
So people they'll be like, let's say people who are like, they'll be like, because when I talk, I have a deep voice. Yeah. Sometimes people will be like,
right.
Like they can't hear you. They don't understand. I have an accent. I have a deep voice, so it's like, so I have to close my eyes. Yeah. And then
just go.
Yeah.
And how long have you been doing this as a singer and songwriter?
Since '97. That's when I started being a professional.
Okay.
Yeah, but since my childhood, I was in the Sunday school.
Well, you're Rwandese.
Yeah,
you just
Rwandese.
sing.
Everybody
just
sings.
sing.
Yeah, everybody sings like
all the time.
Yeah.
It's probably the same with all your ministries.
Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
Not in Zimbabwe.
Not in
What happened in this office? They forgot to sing.
Of course they did.
They just drummed. Yeah. Ooh, they drummed.
They dance.
They dance. Oh, so good.
So singing is kind of my when I'm sad, I listen to music.
Right.
When I'm happy, I listen to music. So music is kind of my hiding place. If there was no God, music would be my God. That's what I tell people. That's the only way I can describe it.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's that close to you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, give us another song then.
Okay, this next song is on my album called Humura. You can find it on YouTube. Do I look over there? All right.
Here.
Here.
Which one are we on? I think we're on that one over there.
She's about to switch you to the other one.
I'm like, okay, which camera am I looking at?
Which iPhone, you mean?
There you go.
Which iPhone?
Okay. So this song is called Kanyana. It's on my album Humura. You'll find it on iTunes, and Brian Thyssen produced the whole album. And this song is called Kanyana, and I wrote it from my soul sister. That's her name. She's called Kanyana. And if you wanna know what the song talks about, the song talks about how she loves sweet potatoes and beans. Nothing much.
That's the song. Sweet potatoes and beans.
Yeah.
goodness, beans and sweet
Woo.
potatoes. I love it. Oh, so good. Oh, and Etienne, when you're playing the bass, I'm just loving how it's so melodic. It's
Oh,
just,
yeah.
it's you play along the melody he's playing, and you harmonize with what he's singing
Yeah, so
as
what
a bass
happens-
line.
There are two things going at the same time. So I am playing, thinking of a percussionist,
Okay,
and at the same time I'm trying to mimic his lines, right?
okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it sounds like a self-contained.
Show them the
Oh yeah.
thing.
So there's a.
All comes back to Congo.
So that one goes.
So I thought Knowledge was paying that backbeat. That's you.
That's me.
He's doing something else completely.
Oh man, that's one of the things that we felt when we were in Rwanda is that
Yeah.
that your approach to music is completely different
Yeah, it's a
than
different
the
concept.
North American way of approaching music. And I mean, we could not figure it out.
I remembered that traditional Rwandan 6/4 time thing. Ba, ba, ta, ka, ka, da, 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 da. And I make it very straight in my mind, like. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where's the box? Help me now. That's. It took
whole
us.
other
It took
thing.
us forever to figure out why are they dun dun ticka, dun, and I was like, "Where's the downbeat?"
Yeah, man.
You have songs in that feel too, that
Yeah.
traditional Rwandan style too.
Yeah, yeah.
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 So fun.
You know what I've been loving about watching artists during this crazy time
Yeah.
is that artists are really great at observing and learning in times when things are really in upheaval. So my question to you would be that: what do you
Yeah.
feel like you've been observing and learning in this time? It's been so unusual.
I mean, the first 2 weeks, the first 2 months for me, like I keep on going to the first 2 months because I did a lot of live, Instagram,
Yeah,
Facebook,
yeah, I saw them.
Great.
Yeah.
and like it wasn't real for me. I was like, man, if this continues like this, I gotta change a profession. I gotta be a farmer. So my guitar and forget about it. Because it's like you're watching yourself
Yeah.
and you're talking
Yeah.
to yourself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I was like, this is crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but at the same time, I was like, people have it's kind of a medicine. So I can have to kind of sacrifice. And like, people need this, otherwise they'll be watching Netflix
Right.
or they'll be watching this movies. So I had to do it, but I did it for 2 months. And I was like, oh, this is, people love, and everyone likes free stuff. I like free stuff, but I can't give everything for free.
No, and that's kind of the problem with what we've
Yeah.
been doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll say this to the audience
Yeah.
that it needs to stop for the sake of
Yeah.
artists being able to continue
Yeah.
to make a living.
Yeah.
You have a
And-
show coming up too, right? Is that
Yeah, I'm playing at Guilt and Co.
Oh, good.
in Gastown on Saturday.
Yeah.
on Saturday? So they're allowed, and there's going to be an audience. How's it going to
Yeah,
work?
they have. It will be a 4-piece. It will be Knowledge, Etienne, and me and Steve.
Oh, Steve.
Yeah.
Charles.
Steve Charles.
Ah.
Yeah. And because you're supposed to space out, and then we won't have dances. So
Okay.
we are kind of looking forward to see how. Because most of my shows is about dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna maybe people will sit in the chairs.
Bounce up and down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
And what do you think is important, from things that you've been observing, learning about our culture, about cultures around the world, that you feel like you want people to not forget?
In this
time.
I think if for all Canadians or the Western world, including myself, because I think we're tough on ourselves. I think life is easy.
Yeah.
But I found out that like with myself, I discovered that I'm ungrateful. Because it's like it's like it's like I need more. because it's a
Yeah.
culture where it's like you need more.
Yeah.
You go and visit
it's true.
someone and they have a nice shoes. I'm like, well, I need those shoes.
Yeah.
They have a smart TV. In my house, I still have those big boxes, like that box. That's the TV I have.
Yeah.
But in my head, I'm like, man, I need that TV.
Yeah.
I'm like, this looks so nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like the culture. It's I don't know. With me, I call it. There's Babylon, and there's Zion.
Yeah.
And COVID-19 kind of brought us to Zion, where you get to know that the most important thing, it's yourself. The most important thing, it's your family, your children. But most of the time, it's like you'll find that you're working, but they don't need most of the stuff you give them. They need your time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need a conversation. They need to play with you.
Yeah.
And the system kind of teaches us that you need this.
Right.
Otherwise,
You've got to
if you
work
do- yeah,
harder
yeah,
to
you-
get that.
So you find
Yeah.
that people have like 2 jobs.
Yeah.
They don't
Yeah.
pay attention to themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Or
know.
to their families.
Yes.
Yeah. I have to confess that's been one of my favorite things to watch has
Yeah.
been dads with their kids.
Yeah.
Because it
Yeah.
just is so unusual in our culture.
Yeah.
It just does not happen the way we've been seeing it happen, which has been
Yeah.
fantastic.
You know.
Yeah. Were you going to do a song with Ezra?
Oh, can I do a song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do a song, because usually on these broadcasts, if you've watched these broadcasts before, I've done a song, and that's what's happened. But this time, in most of the broadcasts, we've had someone coming in via Skype through the thing, and so we would say, well, we're getting an audience together. Sandy and I will talk, and I'll sing a song, and then we'll say, and our special guest, and we'll bring him in. But we've got our special guest here, so we've just had the camera on, the iPhone, showing everybody here. And but I'll do a song, and if you guys want to play along, Ezra's done this
Yeah.
before me. It's me being the color I am, trying to play songs that make
Yeah.
sound like I would be a different color. When he speaks to you, open up your heart. When he speaks to you, don't close the door. When he speaks to you, open up your heart's door, yeah. When he speaks to you, let him in. He may speak to you in a whisper. He may speak to you.
That's right.
In a quiet voice. He may speak to you with a trumpet blasting. When he speaks to you, you make the choice. When he speaks to you, open up your heart. When he speaks to you, don't close the door. When he speaks to you, open up your heart's door, yeah. When he speaks to you, let him in. Brian Teeson, would you play something for us? Oh, when he speaks to you, open up your heart. When he speaks to you, don't close the door. No, no, no. When he speaks to you, open up your heart's door, yeah. When he speaks to you, let him in.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Oh, man.
I love that song.
Thanks.
Now, Ezra, are you one of the many artists that I've been watching lately who are being required to kind of be a jack of all trades? Now, you talked about doing live stream. Was there a lot that you're feeling like, okay, I've got to get this all set up. I've got to be able to do everything. I've got to, you know.
I did. I even bought a camera, but then I was like, I'm like, that's not my thing.
It's a learning curve. Everything's a major learning curve.
I had
Yeah.
to, there's a lot of stuff I learned about the camera, how
Yeah.
to set up, how to edit stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not my thing.
Yeah.
It
You,
takes
are you
away.
inclined to just go, I do what I do and let other people?
Yeah, like to me, one of my wish is to not even play an instrument because I love the microphone. There's more power when you don't have anything on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you're Russ, and then his hands kind of get happening
Yeah.
when he doesn't have a guitar.
Give me the guitar, keep me rooted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why you've got these guys all the
Yeah.
time. That's
It's a
really
Good
helpful.
team.
Yeah,
Oh my
it's
goodness,
a really
sounds
good
so
team.
good.
Yeah.
Even in this, one microphone with an iPhone in a, quiet playing, it's just so much energy. It's wonderful.
I always tell people how like one of the message we send out as a band, it's about unity.
Right.
I'm from Rwanda. He's from Kenya. He's from Zimbabwe. Different cultures,
Right.
different languages. He's from Abbotsford.
That's why his skin gets that color. Just
Lean
Abbotsford
forward
makes
for a
you
second,
white.
Brian. You didn't get to smile. There you are. Just
Yeah, so it's like it's about what we represent. It's like no matter what we think, no matter how good you are, we need each other.
Yeah.
I'm blessed with all these guys.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, and that's how we change what happens in the world, I think.
Yeah.
Just by being in relationship with one another is how we change the conversation.
yeah,
As soon as you have somebody that's your brother, your friend,
Yeah.
close
Yeah.
to you,
Yeah.
how do you ever have racism at that point, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that's how it changes. And actually that's what really impacted us with Rwanda,
Yeah.
was having, people who, terrible things happened
Yeah.
between families, like
Yeah.
murders.
yeah,
And yet, as a culture, it kind of rose up and said, "Okay, enough.
Yeah.
We're gonna just be
Yeah.
family
Yeah.
together, one
Yeah.
family of Rwanda together."
yeah.
Yeah.
Can I? You guys are still working in Rwanda. You still have ministry there.
Yeah,
stuff
we have
happening?
a ministry called Narrow Road,
Yeah.
Narrow Road Africa. You go www.narrowroadafrica.com.
narrowroadafrica.com.
Yeah.
Is it not Narrow Road Rwanda, or is that
No, it's Narrow Road Africa.
Okay.
I think I put on the slide Narrow Road Rwanda because
I
someone.
don't know. I think it's Narrow Road Ministries.
Oh, okay.
We'll
And
change that.
There's a slide we're going to put up here, and it's got donation for Narrow Road
Yeah.
Rwanda/Africa. If you
Or
there's
you
a
can go even to Ezra Kwizera, then there's my email there.
yeah, there's your email, ezrakwizera.ca,
Yeah.
or if you want to scan that URL code, it'll take you, or that QR code,
code.
it'll
Yeah.
take you to the actual donation page, which is through Canada Helps. That's what
Yeah.
that is.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, but otherwise, through your website is
Yeah.
information for that.
Yeah.
What's happening with Narrow Road right now?
With COVID-19, like in Rwanda, that's one of the things that I tell people, like one of the blessings being in Canada is that as an artist, at least I get to get $2,000 from the government.
Yeah.
In Rwanda,
Nothing.
you only get posho and beans from the government.
Yeah.
Wow.
You have to go, it's like you have no other choice. If you didn't have any savings,
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
Wow.
so a lot of my producers and musicians, I have over 50 musicians I work with a Narrow Road production. So I'm raising money to kind of, buy them like a bag of beans and posho, at least for the next month. Because most of them, they have families, and they'll call me and say, Ezra, can you send me $10? And they'll say stuff like, oh, I have 3 kids, we haven't eaten for two days. So those kind of stuff. I was like, and then I had to share with the band, and I'm like, okay, let's do something. You never
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our target is to get at least 5,000.
Yeah.
So far, I think we have 800.
Oh, isn't that
Okay.
great?
Yeah.
Yay, let's do
So-
more.
Well,
There you go, folks.
there's the plea, because even though we feel like as Canadians that we don't have much right now, we've got so much
We've got
compared to
so much.
so many nations.
We have so much.
And we do have a government who's really taking care of us,
Yeah.
and we can be grateful for that. So if you can help out with Narrow Road, we'll make sure that on your site at least
Yeah,
the
yeah.
right link is there so that you can donate whatever you can so that we can raise
Yeah.
$5,000. That
Yeah.
would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to give us another song?
Sure.
Yeah.
We do. Etienne, what should we do? What's your favorite song?
So many. We can do more.
Malaika. So this song, it's called Malaika. It's a Swahili song.
Malaika, nakupenda malaika, malaika, hey! Nakupenda malaika, nami nifanyeje? Kijana mwenzio, nashindwa na mali sina we, ningekuoa malaika, nashindwa na mali sina we, ningekuoa malaika. Pesa zasumbua roho yangu, pesa zasumbua roho yangu, nami nifanyeje? Kijana mwenzio, nashindwa na mali sina we, ningekuoa malaika. Nashindwa na mali sina we, ningekuoa malaika.
Brantisen.
Kidege, kidege, kukuwaza kidege. Kidege, kukuwaza kidege. Unami nifanyeje? Kijana mwenzio, nashindwa na mali sina we, ningekuoa malaika. Nashindwa na mali sina we, ningekuoa malaika.
Malaika, listen.
Malaika, nakupenda malaika. Malaika, nakupenda malaika. Nami nifanyeje? Kijana mwenzio, nashindwa na mali sina we, ningekuoa malaika. Nashindwa na mali sina we, ningekuoa malaika. Nashindwa na mali sina we, ningekuoa malaika.
So Malaika means an angel. So it's a story about a village boy and a city girl. Sometimes people think that I'm saying a silly girl because of my accent.
City.
Yeah, it's
City girl. A city girl. A silly city girl.
So they felt he saw this city girl. She had gone to the village to visit her grandfather, and this farmer saw the girl and she thought she had seen an angel. She was like, Malaika means an angel. I love you, my angel. Like I wish I had the money, I would have married you, because back at home you can't just marry anyone. You can't just marry someone's daughter. You have to have something. You know, so he was like, oh man, I wish I had a cow. You know.
That's all it takes.
That's all it takes. Yeah. That's how I got you, my dear.
Stole a cow from me.
Stole a cow. Ezra, what energizes you the most? What gives you kind of hope and energy, and what inspires you that way?
Life.
Just life,
Yeah, just living.
living.
Because I've lost a lot of people, you know, from my childhood.
Yeah.
So when I see myself here, the moment, I'm like, oh man,
Yeah.
I didn't do anything to deserve this. So life, and I would say above, the number one thing is God. Because it's kind of like, I'm a believer, I run to God. So when I'm sad, I'm like, okay, I'm stuck. What can I do? I'm weak, or, you know, what can I do? I'm confused, you know, what can I do? So that's what energizes me. Yeah, it's the Spirit of God. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
And on the flip side, what bums you out the most? What makes you the saddest, or?
Like now, being a father is when my kids when they're sick,
When they're sick?
yeah, or when I can solve a problem
For them.
for them.
Yeah.
And but personally, it's when I get judged.
Huh.
Yeah,
When people haven't understood you.
Yeah.
And you get judged.
because sometimes I find that most of the time you have to deny yourself for people to understand you. If you show them who you are, then they will deny you.
Right.
So sometimes it's sad, you know, when you catch yourself,
Yeah.
you know, when you're not real.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
In order to
Yeah,
make
because
yourself
me-
accepted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like with my culture, the way I was raised, and the culture here, it's like, you know, for example, like time.
Yeah.
You know, people would get offended, you know, being late for 30 minutes. They would freak out. And that would really hurt me, because I'm like, yo, you had like 2 hours to be there on time.
Yeah.
So that would really kind of, when I offend people.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't offend them because I want it, it's just because it's like, that's how I'm wired.
Yeah.
Like when I'm late 15 minutes, that's me being on time.
Yeah. You did very well today.
That's me.
Oh man.
Anyways,
Why don't you give us another song?
This, Maria. This one likes, you know, it likes Maria.
I like that song too.
Me too.
What key is Maria? We haven't played for a long time.
Yeah, I can
so,
imagine.
like,
You guys sound
COVID.
amazing.
COVID.
Is this the first time you've played together for a while? Yeah. So obviously you're playing. So we're finally in the room together.
It's been more than
And I think we're coming to. Is this our last song for the night?
This will be the last song.
This will be our last song, or unless you've got another one as well.
Yeah,
You
I
can
have
do another
another
one after that if you like.
Okay.
But this could be the last song, and the other one could be the other last song.
I'm in love with Maria, she's in love with me. I'm in love with Maria, she's in love with me. mother, my children, cause I'm in love with you. Oh, my sweet Maria, can you be my sweet potato? Then I'm mother, my children, cause I'm in love with you. I'm in love with Maria, she's in love with me, mama. I'm in love with Maria, she's in love with me, said it. Every time I'm lonely, she comes and dance with me. Every time I'm lonely, she comes and dance with me. Feel away with my mom, maisha ni magumu. Karibu cheze na mimi, mama. Feel away with my mom, maisha ni magumu. Karibu cheze na mimi, mama. Let's sing it. Oh Maria, Maria, Maria. Oh Maria, Maria, Maria. Everybody. Oh Maria, Maria, Maria. Oh Maria, Maria, Maria. One more time. Oh Maria, Maria, Maria. Oh Maria, Maria, Maria. My sweet Maria, can you be my sweet potato? Then I'm mother, my children, cause I'm in love with you. Bila wewe mama, maisha ni magumu. Karibu cheze na mimi, mama. Maria, oh Maria, Maria, Maria. Oh Maria, Maria, Maria. One more time. Oh Maria, Maria, Maria. Oh Maria, Maria, Maria.
That's fantastic. Oh my goodness, we've got lots of great comments from people just saying amazing, sounds wonderful, beautiful music, and watching from California, and people are watching from all over the place. Very nice. Lots of people making comments. That's fantastic.
You know,
Thanks
subscribe on, if you need more music, you can subscribe on my YouTube, Ezra Kwizera, EZRAKWIZERA.com.
There we are. So you can find his YouTube channel via his his website.
Yeah.
And you can sponsor help some musicians in Rwanda.
Yeah.
Through Narrow Road Africa.
Yeah.
And there's a Canada Helps link on his website and other
Yeah.
things for that. And that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, is there anything else you want to just kind of say?
I have an album coming out
Okay.
that Mr. T is working on. It's
Yeah.
a really, really a nice album. I'm so proud of this album. And hopefully it will be released in July, mid-July. If it works out to this guy.
Yeah.
Well,
Brian Thiessen has to wear many hats.
We have a few songs to finish. We kind of, you know, we have a few songs to finish, and you know, I think we have like 3 songs to
Finish?
Yeah, the rest are kind of done.
Yeah, mostly there.
The album is called My Home, and it's about my home is my stage. Yeah,
okay.
and it talks about my home. When my home is my heart, you go with your home is right here.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know, what I was interested in is that knowledge is usually the most flamboyant person, an energetic person in your band,
Yeah.
and he's done so well sitting in this quiet little thing. If anybody out there's ever seen this man play the drums, you would be like, wow, he's being very reserved today. But I know you're feeling the pulse. I know you're feeling the groove because he's very sensitive to the scene. But seriously, go check them out at Guild & Co. or other
& Co.
events. Any other events? Anytime you haven't got anything else
No, it's
booked?
just Guild & Co for now.
Yeah.
But you know, when you actually you can follow me on Instagram, Ezra Kwizera.
Yeah.
Then you'll see on most of my stuff.
Yeah.
My website has, you know, is having
What's a website? Instagram is all.
I keep on paying for it. But,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Well, why don't you play one more song and then we'll make that be our play out song. How
Yeah,
about that?
we can
Yeah.
do that.
How about we do a song together? This is one of the songs that I really like. For me, even when I'm sad, I play this song and it always brings me out of the darkness.
Okay.
And it's by Bob Marley. It's called "Don't Worry About a Thing."
Oh,
'Cause
good
I
There
idea.
you
think
go.
it's gonna be
Perfect
all right.
song.
Yeah.
Perfect song.
So you can sing along behind the screen, you know. And thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe on Instagram.
Yeah, and after this song, I'll put up the link and information again for how to support. That'd be great.
Let's do it. Let's do it in G. Yeah. I rise up this morning, smiling with rising sun. 3 little birds perched by my doorstep, singing sweet song. A melody pure and true, singing, this is my message to you. Sing it, don't worry about a thing. Let's sing it together, come on, baby, baby. 'Cause every little thing's gonna be alright. My people say, sing it, don't worry about a thing, about a thing. 'Cause every little thing gonna be alright. Now you have to sing a ting.
Ting.
Yeah, a ting. Yeah, you have to say a ting. Don't say a thing. Sing it, don't worry about a ting, about a ting. 'Cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Oh my, my, my. Sing it, don't worry about a ting, about a ting, ting, ting. 'Cause every little thing gonna be alright. I rise up this morning, smiling with rising sun. 3 little birds, I say mama doorstep, singing sweet song. A melody pure and true. What do you say? Singing, this is my message to you. Say, sing it, don't worry. Alright, don't worry, sing it, don't worry about a thing, ting, ting, ting. But every little thing is gonna be alright. Then we sing like this. One love, one heart, let's get together and feel alright. One love we say, one love, one love. Give thanks and praise. Give thanks and praise to the Lord, and I will feel alright. One love, sing it. One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. As it was in the beginning, one love, so shall it be in the end. One, give thanks and praise. Give thanks and praise to the Lord, and I will feel alright. Give thanks and praise to the Lord,
That's it for us, everybody. Thanks so much for watching, all
Thank
of you
you
guys.
so much.
Thanks for supporting Bez. Thanks for supporting live music. Make sure you see these guys. Make sure you sponsor them and subscribe to their channels and all that kind of thing. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for Sandy for doing the interviewing.
Yeah, thanks for Bez. Thanks for having us. Thanks to
This is Kim Startup on doing
Kim
sound.
on the sound.
Yay, thank you, Kim.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next time on the live stream. Thanks for supporting all the live music.
Peace, blessings.
Peace and blessings. See ya.